Hey there, fellow retro gamers. Welcome back for another look at some PlayStation 2 classics. Today, we're checking out a rally game from 2001 that not many remember, Global Touring Challenge, Africa, or GTC Africa. Rage Software made this game, and it was supposed to give players a fast ride across Africa. But is it still good, or is it just a mess like a rally car stuck in the mud? GTC Africa is a racing game that mixes the toughness of off-road rallies with the excitement of circuit racing. You'll race on 19 different tracks in cool African places, like Libya's dry deserts, the Congo's foggy jungles, and even Cape Town's streets. The game has real cars from Ford, Subaru, Mitsubishi, and even a Pontiac. It's like seeing a minivan in a Formula One race. You can pick from 9 cars, and each one has its own stats for how fast it goes, how well it grips, and how speedy it is. You can play in modes like Championship, Single Race, Practice, and a Challenge mode with 15 races against the clock, including going up hills and racing through checkpoints. The Championship mode shows you Africa and tells you some facts about each country's people and land before you race. You can play with a friend on the same TV, but don't look for online scoreboards. We are talking about 2001 here. The game had big goals for its graphics. Rage Software used a special engine to create huge landscapes with clear views, unlike the foggy look in many early PS2 games. You could spot mountains far off in 3D. But the result? The edges were rough, the colors were mostly brown, and the cars looked broken. Reviewers liked the idea, but they said the graphics were more like PlayStation 1 quality than PS2. And the sound? The engine sounds were either like a strong car or a toy. As for how it plays, GTC Africa is more of a simple game than a realistic one. The easy controls let you fix mistakes without crashing, but the cars feel light and the way they move when drifting or jumping doesn't feel quite right. It's enjoyable, but it could be better. Metacritic gave it mixed feedback scores. GTC Africa came out in 2001, a great time for PS2 racing games. Let's see how it measures up to the competition. Gran Turismo 3 was the top dog, with tons of cars, realistic handling, and amazing graphics. It's not even a fair fight. GTC Africa just couldn't keep up. Then there was Colin McRae Rally 2, which had awesome rally physics and track design. Its tight controls made GTC Africa's loose handling feel really bad. World Rally Championship was also better, with real WRC cars and a realistic rally feel. People on Amazon really didn't like GTC Africa, complaining about the weird car choices, like Pontiacs and Ford Mustangs instead of Lancia's cars, and that it felt unfinished. One person said it was the worst PS2 game I've played. That's pretty rough, but kind of true. GTC Africa's cheap price of $30 was nice, but it tried to do too much and didn't do anything great. On the arcade side, Burnout was super fun and fast, with better graphics and controls. GTC Africa's unique African setting and easy gameplay were okay, but it didn't have anything that really stood out compared to the big names. It's like that weird family member, nice, but not exactly invited to the party. Okay, so if we jump ahead to 2025 and look at GTC Africa next to newer rally and racing games, it's not really a competition. Games like WRC Generations or Dirt Rally 2 have super real physics, changing weather, and amazing graphics. They make GTC Africa's cars and kind of bad graphics seem really old. Newer rally games let you change almost anything on your car. The suspension, tires, even how the gears work. GTC Africa barely lets you pick what color you want your car to be. Even arcade racers like Forza Horizon 5 are way bigger than GTC Africa, with huge open worlds, tons of cars, and online racing. GTC's African views were cool back in 2001, but Forza's Mexico stages make them seem like something from ages ago. And the sounds? New games have engine noises that sound awesome, not like a toy car. Still, GTC Africa has something cool about it. There are no extra costs or passes. It's just you, the game, and a whole continent to race in. Now, games take up so much space, it's nice to see GTC Africa's 19 tracks and 9 cars on a simple CD. And yeah, it's a CD, not a DVD. Old school. So, what about GTC Africa's legacy? It aimed high, but didn't quite nail it. The African setting and arcade-style rallying were cool ideas, but the graphics weren't great. The physics felt a bit off, and it just needed more polish. It's not in the same league as Gran Turismo 3 or Colin McRae. Compared to newer games like WRC or Forza, it feels like a blast from the past. Charming, but definitely not top tier. Still, if you're into retro games or want a weird PS2 racing game, it's worth checking out. Find it cheap on eBay, dust off your PS2, and go for a spin through the Congo. Just don't expect it to be a classic. That's all for GTC Africa. Had you played this forgotten rally gem? Got memories of crashing Pontiacs in the jungle? Drop them in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more retro gaming deep dives. Until next time, keep your tires dirty and your nostalgia alive.